So part two of the trading logic tutorial. Um, so once the pick list is populated with the most recent pick, just scrolling through here, you'll see some of this code, which it defines an object called Twitter pick. This was just something I was seeing when I was troubleshooting and having some issues where, first of all, if the current pick is in the list of past picks, I was not allowing it to re-alert. That's optional, but I was just wanting to see one unique alert per stock throughout the day. There were other issues with some tickers that I was seeing, so I just sort of suppressed them. This can be completely reduced, but it is an option to clean up some items. Also, sometimes if you have a really short a single or even two character ticker name, it may cause errors based on how the logic is searching for the names of those columns. So I was hesitant to choose things with a single letter for a ticker. So keep that in mind. That may be a source of some errors, or you may need to refine the logic somewhere else. So then Twitter pick is basically defined as the single pick that's going to go through if there is an alert. From this point forward, there's a little bit of cleanup going on of the underlying data. For the charting that comes out with the tweets, they only are showing a single day worth of data. So I did add a filter for that, so things from possibly the prior day didn't make it in and make the chart look strange. So that's optional, but that was how I dealt with those issues. I define, the target data set based on the single pick, define a target profit based on basically the existing price at the time of the alert times 2.5. Excuse me, this is actually the standard deviation times 2.5, and then target entry is the existing price at the time of the alert. You can modify that to whatever you want. This is just some code that helps with basically saving down graphing and saving down the graph to be retrieved for the tweet. I pretty much use ggplot for this, and it's highly customized and customizable. You can do whatever you want here, but this was the way this is where I landed in terms of visualizations. And there's plenty of resources on how to customize graphs using ggplot already, so I'm not going to go too deep into that issue. I have some conditional logic that, if the pick is not NA, then actually print the plot. If the pick is NA, then there's no point, because there's not going to be a tweet, there's not going to be an alert. You just need to, the conditional logic is so only if an alert is valid will it print the plot. And then if you go further down, this is the call to the Twitter API, again conditional on whether or not there's a valid pick. And then you would use the update status function to tweet at the time of alert. And so this is just the, if you've seen the format of some of the prior tweets, some of it's hard-coded, some of it's dynamic, and it's ultimately meant to grab the most relevant prices, and I stopped short of making the actual trade execution automatic, but it could be useful to alert yourself to trades, and I'm working with that now more with Bitcoin at the moment. But this is essentially how you would get a tweet to come out if there's a valid alert to tweet about. The rest of this code, this part here, is more of a quick way to utilize that pick list that we talked about before. So let's say at the end of the trading day, you have this list from your run and it's got 20 alerts on it at the time at which they alerted. You can actually read in all of your data and simulate those alerts at the time that they alerted. And basically you can analyze how those would have played out by potentially modifying the actual trade logic up here. So you can change this, and I think I'm going to have to go deeper into this in another video, but let's say you wanted to make some tweaks in the technical analysis. You can read in the new data and then you can rerun the technical analysis based on the new criteria, and then from there you could simulate each moment of the day using this code down here. And what is going to happen is it's going to actually regenerate what would have been a qualified pick at one point in the day, and then you end up with a new pick list based on the new criteria. So you could actually take a look at would there have been more alerts, fewer alerts, what do they look like, and you can ultimately sort of backtest and refine your strategy. So that's just a looping tool for that. I can probably be clearer on this if there are actual questions, but I used it to land on some of my specifics, such as a standard deviation of 1.9 or different time spans for the MACD component. So you can play with all the criteria above and regenerate the picks as if you went through the full trading day, because you have all the data. And that's pretty much it for this. It loops all day, or as long as you need it to. It saves down an extension of the pick list every time a run is complete. That's the actual pick list from the trading day. And then before each repeat loop, it sleeps for about 45 seconds just to not overwhelm or break too much. I do find putting these little breaks in here and there make it smoother, prone to less error. You really don't need it to run constantly. It can go every few minutes. You don't need data every second. You could probably get a price every 30 seconds or every minute, and then run the analysis every few minutes. So just figure out what works for you. But that is mostly it. If there are questions, please definitely let me know, as always. I'll continue to think of other items to dive deeper into. I do think there's a few things here we could talk about some more, but let me know if there's anything specific. All right, thanks for watching.